now. So just be careful what you say now. Welcome everybody to our monthly assembly, and the first one in 2019, Fellowship Assembly of the Rotary E-Club of Canada 1. And my name is Peter Denoy. I'm the president-elect, and I reside most of the time in the Dominican Republic. And if you come to the coffee sip in the morning, you'll see my office outside on the balcony. Right now, I am in my comfortable chair that I use to travel around the world in. So I would like to start, and I'll call you off as it appears on my screen. Ellie, seeing that you have the largest group of people, why don't you introduce everybody that's over there?
Why don't I introduce our Rotarians, let them introduce themselves, starting with my friend here.
I'm Bob Enders from the Stony Plain Rotary Club, just outside of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And just vacationing now in Manzanillo, Mexico.
Hi, Bob.
Hi.
I know where Stony Plain is.
Yeah. And this is?
I'm Roy Pike from Ottawa, and I'm vacationing here from November until April.
Right.
Hi, I'm Ramiro, and I've been a Rotarian for too long. Have a nice day, guys.
And what club are you belong? Do you belong to? Where's your club? Your Rotary Club.
Okay. That's why the introductions there. Come over.
Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you. And I'm Barbara
The
Enders,
introduction.
and I'm an honorary member of the Plain Rotary Club, and that's the best time. The best time there. Hi, Jim. Nice to see you.
Hi, Barb.
Hello, I'm Eileen Pike from Ottawa, Canada. Hi, Judy and Ron. Hi. We're here as guests of Ellie and Romero tonight for your wonderful meeting. Thank you.
Hello to Judy.
Oh,
Judy.
Barbara wants to say hello to Judy.
It's nice seeing you here. We run into each other at really different places, don't we?
So Eileen is a regular guest at our meeting. She must have attended a few of these. And I'm Ellie. Nice to see everybody here.
Is that it? That's all?
That's it.
Our turn.
Okay, good.
Okay. Now I can just get this set up.
Sorry. Just hang on.
Okay.
Hang on, Judy. We can't hear. Just hang on, Judy. Hang on. Just wait. Kitty, will you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I am Kitty Butchko. I am a Canadian, and I'm currently in Anguilla until the end of April, and Delwyn hates me for that. But I am an associate member of the Rotary E-Club of Canada 1, and I love it.
And she does a lot of stuff behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen. Undine, would you mind introducing yourself?
Mind at all. You were mentioning regarding your chair that you're visiting the world. Well, when will you have your flying carpet? Happy New Year to everybody, and thank you so much for allowing me to visit. Hopefully I'll be an associate member pretty soon. So I'm excited to join tonight. Thank you. And I'm coming from Chilliwack.
Yeah. Chilliwack. Undine Miller.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Sharon.
Oh, just a second. I've lost everybody again. There we go.
Who's that?
Sorry, I'm having some challenges with my server here, so hopefully I won't disappear totally.
No, you haven't.
Here in Chilliwack, we had an absolutely gorgeous day here today. In fact, I was out in the garden, which is good for my soul. And yeah, Happy New Year and glad to be here.
Great to see you. Jeff.
Hi, my name is Jeff McFarlane. I have been a member of the Rotary Club E-Club Canada 1 for a few months now, but have been Rotarian for about 14 years. I am in Calgary.
Hello, sorry about that.
No, wait, you will get your turn.
It's a crazy day.
Just wait, Bryce. We're introducing.
Okay.
Delvin,
Yes, that's me.
introduce yourself.
Very well. Delvin coming into you from, as Sharon mentioned, sunny Silhouette. I was not out in the garden today, though. I was walking through about 150 females still from being away and paying the price. I'm very happy to be with you all again tonight. Happy
Okay,
New Year.
your sound is not the best, Delvin. Just
Oh,
so you
really?
know.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, I'll
but
fix
that's
that up.
okay. We don't need to hear lawyers exactly every time what they
Oh,
say.
you
Anyway.
definitely do.
David, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm David Ware in Cochrane, foggy Cochrane, Alberta, and the current president for another 6 weeks.
All right. Yes, and counting. Judy, you have a crowd too.
Me. Okay, so Judy Brown, and we are in Ajijic, Mexico by Guadalajara on Lake Chapala. So with me, my guest, my husband Ron Brown with the Edmonton Strathcona Club, Andy Olson from Edmonton Sherwood, or from Sherwood Park Rotary Club, and May Olson. And they're here with us and all together for this lovely meeting.
Fantastic. Welcome. Jim.
Hi, everybody. It's Jim Ferguson coming to you from Skeleton Lake, Alberta. It's not quite as warm and balmy as it is in Antigua. It's about currently about -22 with the wind chill here, but nice to see everybody. Nice to see you, Undine and Sharon. Glad to be here. Thanks, Peter.
Right. Tammy.
Hi there. I'm Red Deer, Alberta. Kind of chilly here today too. Greetings to all.
All right. Welcome. Bruce.
Holding the fort in beautiful sunny Surrey.
All right, Bruce. Welcome. Roberto, can you introduce yourself? Where are you today?
Hi, everybody. My name is Nosberto Lu. I am from Guatemala, living in Ottawa, but actually I'm in Guatemala. Enjoying the good weather. You know, we are like 20 degrees Celsius. And I guess that I'm gonna see Vicky in the next few days because I plan to visit her finally. Glad to be here.
All right. I did. And I'll jump right over to Vicky.
Hello, this is Vicky calling from Guatemala. And
hey.
Alberto says it's actually cooling off because the sun's gone down, but it's 23 during the day. No snow, sunshine. What can I say? Best place on earth.
Good. All right, everybody. Considering where we are time-wise, etc., I will now ask you all to mute yourself, and we'll start with the part of the program that has changed because there were some complications, and so we'll just tell you what happens as we move along. And so the one person that hasn't been introduced yet is Bryce Lambert. Bryce is our newest member of the club, and he is scheduled to give his classification talk. And I have the honor of introducing him, and it's obviously not going to say much because then he doesn't have much to say. But this is such an exciting event that he joined our club because, as I was asked by Ellie to participate in the 2020 conference, they said, well, you got to talk to Bryce Lambert because he's done video and audiovisual stuff before, etc. So when I was in Edmonton this summer, I made a point of meeting with him after we communicated online, and I met him in his office, and we started talking, and he told me his whole story and how intricate he has been involved with Rotary already. And I said, well, are you a member of a Rotary Club? He said, no. I said, nobody asked you. I said, I just did. And I did. I asked and said, would you like to join Rotary? And here he is. It's a prime example of how important it is to ask people, because some of them have never heard or thought about it or whatever. You ask them, and then they said, yeah, I've been, very interested to do that. So Bryce, you have the honors. You can play now for the next 15, 20 minutes and do your thing, tell you about, oh, you don't have that much material. You have never been caught silent anyway. So take it away. Welcome.
All right, well, 15, 20 minutes. I could fill that, but you'd probably be tuning out pretty quickly. My name is Bryce Lambert. I am the owner-operator of Kiwi Productions. We are an audio-visual production company that provides screens, projectors, sound systems for events, live events, presentations, typically corporate. We also do webcasting and video production. Webcasting's become like a huge part of our business these days with so much going mobile. We can kind of bring that whole broadcast quality, television quality, like you'd see in the news, to live events, which has been a really big thing for a lot of corporate events. Reason I'm late was we're doing actually a presentation with Rachel Notley and Rick Mercer as a keynote speaker on Thursday, and we do that set up over at Shaw Conference Center in Hall D for 1,040 delegates. So we will be putting in all of our PA, our lighting, our screens, our projectors. We make that room look really nice and sexy for its delegates. And a lot of those people, well, actually all of them are from Industrial Heartland, which is a real big deal with the oil and gas sector right now here in Alberta. And there's some pretty hot topics just with the current economic situation that's been going on here in Alberta and Canada, and just with our government and whatnot. So anyway, so that's kind of what I do. And I organize everything, making sure that presenters have all their needs met. So what kind of microphones they need, make sure their presentations are clean and crisp and they show up well. Audio is really well and done well in the room, and then as well as the overall look of the room, which is really important to. We do a lot of design, just different kind of graphics, all that sort of stuff. I'm just kind of trying to, I didn't really get a chance to go too hardcore into preparation. I'm kind of going off of just some of the stuff that I remember from the classification talk breakdown. How my classification or how my job would be, I guess, influenced by government, technology. Technology is always changing, so that's a big thing with our field. We're always updating, consistently updating, and every time we update 6 months later, generally we're out of date, so we got to update again because that technology moves so fast. My job and it was kind of a great way to be introduced into Rotary. And speaking of some of the things we've done with Rotary in the past, with Leo Seguin, we went overseas to Ethiopia and we did some documentary work for him. We covered some of his projects, captured, followed the money, captured what that money was doing. How that way the donors can actually see, when we donate, this is where it goes, this is the impact it has, and that was a great job to be part of with Rotary, just to for a couple of things. For me, I mean, going to Ethiopia and to see a country like that and to see the work that Rotary does, and where some of that money can go and the impact it has was extremely impactful for myself, seeing those people firsthand, touching, shaking hands, just meeting them, seeing their situation. So that was pretty impressive, and so that's always been a driver for me to get a little bit more involved in Rotary. Before that, for 17 years now, I've been doing the audio visual for Bunny and Dick Art's Rotary Dinner Theater out in Westlock. So we've provided the sound, video, lighting for their 9 shows that they've been producing for the month of October, which is through their dinner theater. And yeah, that's been amazing. Again, like that whole group is like my family. My daughter was born during that show. She was part of the show the last 2 years. So that's been huge too. And so Rotary's been pretty like pounded into my bloodstream over the last 17 years. And so I'm like super excited, super honored to be a part of this. And myself and Peter have been going over conversations in the last, or actually our last conversation, and just kind of exploring some of the options that we can bring forward, carrying forward to help Rotary clubs grow, and just some of the cool things that are out there for communicating, getting people more excited, more engaged, and hopefully capturing some of that youth that we're looking to bring into the bloodstream, and yeah, and see where it goes from there. Let's see, ethical issues was another thing that was on that list that I might face with my work. Ethical issues would be knowing when to keep my mouth shut when I disagree with some of the stuff I hear our government officials, lawyers, stuff like that. With my job, it's pretty exciting because I never is it the same. It's never stale. One day we'll be doing something for police services. The next thing we'll be doing something for the Liberals. The next day we'll be doing something for the NDPs. The next day we'll be doing something for, local government. It's always changing. And so there's some days where you want to stand up and be like, wait a second, but you just got to keep your mouth shut because you're a neutral party. Those are my ethical issues that I face with my job. It's great because I get a very large scope of, I'm never an expert in anything, but you hear all these different things and how they all work. And, like some days you'll be doing jobs with like sewer and plumbing and city planning, and it's amazing. And different scales, large scale, small scales. And then with the webcasting and conferencing, we bring people in from all over the world. Like on some of our conferencing stuff, we can have up to 100 delegates visiting from all over the world, and scheduling all that and making it all work. But then hearing like just some of the stories. Actually, during the Rotary conference, the last Rotary conference at Shaw Conference Center here, just this last bit, while you guys are having your conference, I was downstairs with the UN, United Nations, talking about safe cities, safe places. Mostly in particular with women and being safe, and designing and producing safe places and safe cities. So that project right there, you're meeting people from all over the world in all different walks of life, and just hearing like stuff that you're like, that's no way that exists in the world, like, or that problem, or things like that. And then you meet these people and you're like, wow, like they do. And that's, you think that as a species, we're further, like we're up here, but we're still pretty down here sometimes in some places and in some areas. And that's always eye-opening and humbling, as well as emotional, and trying to figure out like, just where you sit in that whole picture. What else? I guess the biggest thing, which is still, we're just kind of starting to launch this now in January. We're hoping to launch January 25th. We have built a full-scale broadcast studio in our space. I've actually given our Tuesday SIPs a little bit of a sneak peek tour of it. And we've got lots of ideas for that, especially for Rotary. So what we've designed is an actual broadcast space. It's soundproof. It's customizable to a wide variety of shows and productions. And we're basically doing television. So what you see on TV, we've got TV walls, video walls, green screen spaces with all of our cameras. And we put on TV shows now. So starting January 25th is when we're going to be launching officially. We'll be doing a large press conference and a press release, and inviting event planners and professionals, communications professionals, industry leaders in technology and communications, basically from all over Alberta into our space to do walkthroughs and explore opportunities to help them spread their message professionally, efficiently, and faster. The reason we started doing this, we saw a real niche in the market where people were doing production, they do videos, and they would take to do a professional grade video, it would take a month to get anything shot, edited, color corrected, and sent out. The way we've designed this space, because it's designed around the television world, we can bring people in, we can pre-shoot your content a week before, you can send us your script the day before you come in, look straight at the camera, you say your script, we punch in your B-roll over top of it, and you can leave that day with a video. So it's a very quick turnaround, but more importantly, it's like television broadcast quality. Lighting, the digital video wall is huge. You could sit down in our studio and I can make it look like you're sitting in Egypt and the pyramids are behind you. So it's pretty cool in that sense. Digital sets as well, just like you see on any of your favorite sports shows, CTV, Global, CNN, BBC, so that kind of stuff. So that's a really exciting thing that's for us is launching, and we see some potential there with Rotary and spreading messages, for the organization as well. So, yeah, that's what else? Ethical, technology and government. I have some little notes on a post-it here.
A little bit about your family.
My family. Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of got swept up in some of the other topics here. I have a beautiful wife. She's from Fiji. We've been married for 5 years. We have a 4-year-old daughter who is going on 13. Love her to death. She's usually part of all of our fellowship sips, our coffee sips there on Thursday mornings. She gets up bright and early with me and hits the gym, and then she has breakfast and joins us for our meetings. She's a little doll. She's actually upstairs passed out. She got to spend the last couple of days with Grandma and Grandpa and go see horses and ride in tractors and all that sort of jazz at the farm. And my wife's from Fiji. Very smart, beautiful, of course, love of my life, and super supportive. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I grew up in Westlock. I guess to get a little bit of history, grew up in Westlock, Alberta, about 75 clicks north of Edmonton. Went to RF Staples there where I took just theater and drama. I've little known fact, I've never gone to school for anything that I do right now. I'm all self-taught. I started my company in grade 11. I was a pretty big keener. I moved out when I was 14. That was a big thing back in the day. Yeah, I'm a pretty independent guy. I like getting things done. I don't like, I'm a pretty, just get it done. I don't talk too much. I just, well, obviously that's a lie. I'm talking like the wind, but, I like to get it done. I don't like messing around too much. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. Excited for Rotary 2020. I know that we've been discussing some pretty cool plans and some neat ideas, talking about entertainers lately, and yeah, looking forward to participating a little bit more. I know I got to get some of my ducks in a row here when it comes to meeting attendance and all that sort of jazz. Cracking the whip on myself, but it's got to just get to it. So. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I don't know. Is there anything else, Peter? Oh, you're muted.
I'll open it up and we have time for 3 questions. Anybody raise your hand, your real hand, not your virtual hand, if you have any questions for Bryce to ask. David Werrett. Hey, unmute.
Yep. Why did you pick the name Kiwi Productions?
I should answer that question. So the Kiwi came from my very first show. I'd never looked at a soundboard. I'd never looked at a video board, nothing. And my very first show, I got tossed into the sound booth at RF Staples. I was about 15 years old, and because they had no tech. and I was pretty good in communications technology. So our very first show was a one-act theater festival for 3 days, where all of the schools in our district came together to our school and had a one-act play festival for 3 days. So I jumped into the booth, and our adjudicator, the lady that marked us on our performance and how we handled ourselves, all sort of jazz, she could never remember any of our names. Like, she was like horrible at remembering names. And as techs, we had to wear all black, and I wore an all black shirt with a green Nike symbol in the center. And she said, well, that reminds me of a Kiwi, so I'm going to call you Kiwi. And our lighting tech, he had spiky blonde hair, and he was named Pineapple, and his girlfriend's name was Strawberry, and all that. It was like this whole theater thing. And so then when at the end of all the shows, she would call on our headsets fruit salad, and we'd all meet in one spot, and then she would give us our mark on that. And so the name just never went away. Like I ran that theater for another 3 years after that, and I just always introduced myself as Kiwi because it was a theater thing, and most people didn't even know what my real name was until it was time to sign the check, and it just stuck. It's like, it's good. It's kind of horrible for marketing, but it's good because people remember it, and so yeah, that's kind of how the Kiwi name came.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Anybody else yet, Delvin?
All right, Bryce, tell us what kind of mischief you got up to in front of the green.
Bad sound.
Oh, sorry,
Bad sound.
I missed that.
Tell us what kind of mischief you got up to in front of the green screen.
Well, there's all sorts of stuff. Actually, here, let me.
Can you repeat? Sorry, can you repeat the question, because I never did
Oh,
hear.
sure. He was asking what kind of mischief I've gotten up to in front of the green screen.
Oh, Delvin, that's a bad question.
Oh, yeah.
I'll
That's a
show
good
you
question,
something
actually.
I'll show you something kind of fun here, actually. Try not to take up too much time. So this was when my baby girl was about, oh, I don't know, she would have been 4 or 5 months, I think. Let's see here. So that's shot in front of a green screen. And so what, that's shot in front of a green screen. That's my baby girl. She's probably about 4 or 5 months old. And what that contraption is that I'm wearing is it's a Steadicam vest. So it's a vest that I wear with that arm on it that has a spring, and I set a camera up on it, and then I can actually like run with that camera and it'll stay perfectly steady. So we took one of those baby harnesses that they have at Walmart, cut the straps off it, mounted a steel plate inside with a pipe, and then mounted her to it because she was just light enough for it. And so that's kind of the fun stuff. But yeah, the green screen, it can get pretty fun. I haven't messed a lot myself with it. I know now that my girl there, but now that it's up, Katana, we could have so much fun with her. Sorry, that's my daughter's name, Katana, like the Japanese sword. And we can have tons of fun with it because we can put her in front of lava or swimming with sharks or, you know, anything. It's pretty much endless. Actually, Peter, do I have time to show a quick video?
Yeah, you can.
Sure.
Okay. I could show this one. So this is just kind of some of the scope of some of the stuff that we do.
Are you intending to play some music with it too? Because you probably didn't check off those boxes when you first went.
Yeah, so it's kind of just like a little breakdown of some of the stuff that we do.
Okay, can you stop sharing? All right, one more question, then we're done with him. Anybody else has a question?
I was just going to comment.
Good.
If Bryce was there around Rotary for 17 years, Peter, congratulations on being the first one to ask him about.
I don't know whether I was I don't know if I was the first one, but I was the most successful one.
No, you're
that's
the
all,
first
that's
one.
all that counts. That's all that counts.
That's right, and we're happy to have him on board, not just because of the AV connection, but just because I got to know Bryce a little bit now since the summer, and awesome to have you on board. It's
yeah, and I think the big thing with not being asked before was just I'm a pretty busy body. Like I'm all over the place all the time, and their biggest thing was not being able to attend the meetings. And so that was the biggest thing. And I mean, 17 years ago, I don't think any of the e-clubs existed. So then, once this came about, it was kind of like the ideal fit. So
right. Yes.
Yeah.
Bryce, thank you so much for a great presentation, and we all get to know you a little bit better, what you do, and we're looking forward to help you in any way we can with all your business stuff, because I know every time Rotary is in it, we'll be getting advertising, free
you
advertising.
betcha. Absolutely.
I think, anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Next, I would like to turn it over to Ellie for a segment, and she has some things she wants to discuss in regards to next month's meeting.
Yes, thank you, Peter, and thank you, Bryce. That was a wonderful presentation, and we're looking forward to have you involved in our conference. Some of you may be aware, or maybe not aware, that 5 years ago, on February 23rd, our club was chartered. That means that this February we will be having our 5th anniversary. And we will celebrate during our fellowship assembly. And
isn't it 6? Isn't it our 6th one coming up?
It's 6.
It's
we did 5 last year.
2015.
Ellie, I know you don't want to get older, but sorry.
Thank you for reminding me. Our 6th anniversary. So 6 good reasons to celebrate. What we would like to do is have our members, in particular our charter members, give them each like about a minute and a half or so during the February Fellowship Assembly to present us with a little bit of an anecdote or how they got involved in the e-club, or anything they would like to share that's worth sharing and entertaining that we can present during our anniversary. If there are any other suggestions of what we can do, maybe Delvin, our poet laureate, will have a poem ready for us, and we can send him some of our 6-year history. And it would be nice to get most of our members involved. So any suggestions anybody would have would be much appreciated. Any suggestions?
Not all at the same time.
One at a time, please. Right? Yes, you can send it to me or to Peter.
Yeah, no one will end up at Alice. Mm-hmm. No problem.
I like that idea, Ellie. And we can dig around in the archives as well and see what other things that we can dig up from the beginning of the e-club. So I like that idea.
So if you could have something to me by February 5th, then we can put something together and line up some of our presenters, maybe starting with some of our charter presidents, like Bruce. We would like to hear from Bruce. He was one of our first presidents. So thank you all.
Thanks very much, Ali, and I look forward to hearing and seeing what everybody can bring forward. Delvin, you have a remark, question, whatever.
Yeah, can you hear me now, Peter?
Much better.
All right, good. I must seem to have fixed whatever was doing. Anyway, I'd be happy to do a poem for the occasion. And if anybody has particular things that they would like to see included, send me along ideas and I will incorporate them into an ode.
Ode, okay.
An ode.
Awesome. Okay, before we go further, we have one person who came later, Jim Kenyon. Could you please introduce yourself? Because we never had a chance to do that.
Sorry about that. I ended up downtown and lost track of the time. Jim Kenyon, I'm in Whitehorse.
Over there. You got heavy traffic over there too?
Yeah, we have a rush minute. We don't have a rush hour. We have a rush minute. First time I came up here, there were 6 cars that went by before I could pull out, and the guy that was showing me around said, yeah, that's our rush minute. Don't worry about it. I'm in Whitehorse, Yukon. We've just finished a week of minus 35, minus 38, and it's a fantastic minus 7 right now.
Yes, Norberto, I see you shake your head, but you think Ottawa is cold at times, right?
Well, there was something on about the moose that wandered into the hospital, and they said it was because of the cold. It was -2, and I thought it's minus 38 on my deck. Trust me, -2 it is not cold to that moose.
Okay, great. Welcome.
Anyway,
welcome,
thank
Jim.
you. Sorry for being late. I am
no,
duly chastised.
No, see, that's the thing, I think, for Rotary. Better late than never. I mean,
Well,
you're always welcome. We have a reason. And as long as it's a good reason. And I think, you know, heavy traffic in Whitehorse is a good reason.
It's reasonable. Actually, since I seem to have the floor for half a second here, Bryce's comments about Kiwi and a nickname catching in, people will probably remember On the Road Again on CBC. We did an episode of that. And part of that was a friend, since become a friend, who's an artist, and she created Dr. Dog. And Dr. Dog is not a dog doctor. It's a mythical husky that treats other animals. And I don't know if I even have the thing here. No, I won't try it. But anyway, it's my license plate, and it's become a nickname. And when I got into politics and started knocking on doors, I found that most of the town knew me as Dr. Dog. They had no idea what my name was, but they knew Dr. Dog. So
what did your name show up on the ballot?
As long as it was right on the ballot. Yeah, unfortunately it was. You know, I was stupid enough to have an interest in politics and unlucky enough to win. So.
Right. Okay, I just want to, because we have some more time, there's something that I have been thinking about and that I would like to get some opinion from members, from the individuals, and that is just the overall picture on what social media can do or will do or can do or does not do for the Rotary E-Club of Canada 1. We know all the possibilities, all the things we can do with social media, but there are pros and cons, and I'd like to find out from the people that are here what the feelings are about the social media and how much we should get involved with that or continue to do that, because it takes up a lot of time, it's a lot of work, and do we get anything out of that? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out to stimulate some conversation, discussion, controversy. Not afraid to do that, and we have about 10 minutes to chat about that, and I'm sure there's people that have opinions. Sharon is number one to start talking.
Well, I think social media is necessity these days, and I even share on my Facebook page some of our TED Talks from our meetings. I share some of the videos that Jim and his team post. I share things that you post on your Facebook page to my page. And I think if we make things shareable on the Facebook page, that we can share, and we do get more interest in our club that way. So it's a great way of sharing and spreading the news about our club around. I don't use Twitter, but I do use Facebook a lot.
Okay, but you mean with the page, the club Facebook page is what you
Club Facebook page, and even our meetings, I will share, like I shared our last TED Talks on my Facebook page.
Yep.
And I did mention that it came from the E-Club meeting site. So, you know, it does generate interest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Delvin.
Peter, I'm not a Facebooker, but my hat's off to Sharon and my wife and all the rest of the people that are Facebookers, and I think it's a very valuable tool. And one of these days, I'm going to drag myself into doing it beyond just having a firm Facebook page. But I do have a cautionary tale about LinkedIn. I know that a lot of us are on LinkedIn, and when I joined the E-Club, it was part of my initiation to set up a LinkedIn account and make sure I posted some things, because I know the club was pushing for us to be more versatile in social media. But you must be aware that there are significant problems with LinkedIn and viruses. LinkedIn doesn't have an internal control. So when you're on LinkedIn and somebody posts something to LinkedIn and you open it up, you could be opening up a virus. So be very careful with using LinkedIn for other than just messaging people back and forth. Opening up attachments is dynamite in that software in LinkedIn. Just a cautionary tale for everyone.
Opening attachments you don't know where they come from is bad in any event.
Yeah.
You know, wherever you are, wherever you go. Okay. Yes, Ellie.
I know that over the years when I first set up the Facebook page, that we had postings. Some of them were not related to our club at all. We always, when we post something, we need to think of why are we posting? Are we posting it just for the sake of posting? Or are we posting to create awareness to our E-Club? When Ethan agreed to be our Facebook person, I sent him a few guidelines, and I included things like, is it relevant to Rotary? Is it relevant to the club? And also, I like to suggest to every single person that posts something on our Facebook page that the purpose is to bring them to our website to attend our meetings. So with every post that we make, we should really include a link to our website. That's the whole purpose, not just to post something of interest, but to post something to create awareness for the E-Club.
But they have to post.
Sharon, I will be happy to make you editor so that your postings will not be showing up in the background just as comments, but as real postings. Thank you, Peter. That was my...
No, that's fine. I mean, it's just, the participation is something that, you know, needs to come from all the membership again too. So, you know, there are people that are on Facebook and some that are not. And so I just want to throw it out, how much there is and what we need to do in order to get something out of it. Because some of the messages I can see on mine when I post it, and then it went to 26 people. And so, you know, in order to make that grow, there's a lot of work involved with that too. So just have some, yes, Bryce.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of taking a look at the Facebook page right now here as we're going through it. I mean, there's definitely different ways that I guess as a club we could look at what our goal is with the Facebook page. I mean, we could run advertising and marketing campaigns for new members or younger members. We could do, you know, we could run advertisement, or we could run campaigns for donations. Facebook is an extremely powerful tool once you know the ins and outs. And even with us, when we started with our Facebook campaigns on through our company, and we looked at, we had hired a marketing company to kind of manage that for us. the amount of metrics you can get on your reach and stuff on the back end once you kind of understand and know what you're doing. Not saying that I know all the ins and outs, but from what my experience has been with our marketing company and whatnot, the growth can be ridiculous if it's focused. Like the funnel has to be focused. And I think as a club, we might want to like consider what some of our goals are. Like I'm just looking at some of the stuff and some of the posts on here and whatnot. And it's like, it's content. It's, you know, some articles, like we got RI President Rotary Bear a scene message, like that message, 144 shares. There should be, you know, I mean, something like that, depending on the content without watching it. I mean, we should be getting like thousands of shares on that.
No, but that's the problem. That's one of the issues. To get that, to grow that, you've got to be consistent, and you know, those are the kind of things. So
and integrating multiple social medias like a Twitter account and getting that that campaign where we can target it. So it almost becomes like a clickbait where we target those people. When posting that, we can say like, okay, we want to target, oh, sorry.
Yeah. So what is the purpose there? So it ultimately comes down for the purpose. Like Ali said, we want to drive them to our website because
Yes.
it is to make awareness and then have people get interested in Rotary and hopefully join our club. Well, we don't want 1,000 members, you know, but that's still, you need the numbers in order to get the odd one that is interested in joining type of thing. So it just, I want people to think about it more because of whether on how much energy we put in there and what comes from that, and just provoking the thinking about our Facebook page and where we can go and what we can do. So great, good, that's fine. We have some other things, other topics. Anybody wants to chat? Bruce, you're always so quiet. Why don't you say something? How are things in
Hey,
BC?
Peter, I found out a long time ago, the less I say, the smarter I get.
Okay, we know how smart you are, so you can just come down a little bit by saying something.
All right. We had a discussion a few years ago at our visioning workshop about this. If you review what we did then, and it's all available for everyone to see, you'll see that there was a lot of plans. We just needed one or more people to be the champions of our media, and so what else is new?
Right.
I set up the LinkedIn. I set up the Twitter accounts. They still exist. Ellie remembers differently than I do how the Facebook got started. That doesn't matter. It's the only one of the three that's getting any traction. My experience being one of the monitors the last few years is it does attract a lot of people looking for a lot of things that we aren't in a position to give, mostly money. But it's a great way, as Bryce has said, to get the word out about who we are, what we are. No question about that. And I have said enough.
Thank you so much for your valuable input, indeed. And so the other thing is, of course, we compete with millions others and stuff like that on that. So that's a whole different. Well,
the hope, going to what Bruce was saying with some of our studio and some of the things that I'm hoping to contribute to was to build some of that content and have it more focused about Rotary E1 and our club in specific, to build awareness for that, but to also share, you know, interesting content, bringing some of those outside people into our fold that are in, but building engaging content. It's all about engaging, like having something at the end of that video that clicks, or something funny or goofy or silly, you know, lighthearted, but still gets a message across that there is a purpose. Like, you know, you do something goofy and at the end it's like someone helps somebody else after he slips and falls on a banana peel. Rotary E Club won, right? So it's like that subtle marketing that you see where it's like you watch a commercial for 30 seconds and the commercial has absolutely nothing to do with the final product that's advertised at the end. It's that advertising of engaging content to get those numbers up there. And then they start paying more attention. They're like, oh, well, that was hilarious. What else have these guys got? Oh, wow, these guys do that. Oh, wow, these guys do that. Wait a minute. I'd be interested in getting involved in that. That's pretty cool. Things like that. And I hope that carrying forward that, yeah, we would be able to help out with that and kind of help grow that. So
definitely. But one of those things is important to do that on a consistent basis. Doing a message here and there once a month or a couple of times a month isn't going to do that. You've got to do that on an ongoing basis.
Yeah, and the great thing with today's technology, we can build that stuff. We could take a day or two and shoot. I mean, it's really 30-second videos. If you just want short, sweet, nothing too crazy, short and sweet. You could build like 20, 30-second videos in a day in the studio space, and then we load that into a program called Buffer, and we schedule the release of those, and it just automatically does it. It becomes like the management of social media now has actually come quite far. I mean, when you see like Kim Kardashian and all those people posting like 70 times a day, they're not posting that stuff. That stuff's been pre-built and just programmed to post automatically. And it works. It's not technically an honest way of doing it because they are doing it like it's live or like it's instantly happening. But it's with us because of the generic and the large portion or the large scope of information we can share. We don't need to be doing it as like it's happening now. We could be doing it as we're just sharing content.
Good. Thank you. Yes, Sharon?
That's what my daughter does. She has clients, everything from a Mexican restaurant to a new cannabis store for pets. And she does their social media for them. That's what she does, is she will do, like 2 months worth of stuff to put on. And a lot of it, as you say, Bryce, are these little catchy 10, 15-second things to catch your eye. And she's got varied clients, and that's what she does. She is contracted to do their social media, everything from Twitter to Facebook to their websites, that kind of thing. So.
Did you say cannabis for pets?
Yes,
well,
she's
of course.
Just got a new client today. Cannabis for pets.
All right, I thought I heard it all, but now I have to have heard it all now.
No, actually, there's on Facebook, there's a group. I don't know if you stumbled into it, Peter. I think it's Veterinarians for Veterinarians. And you have to be a graduate veterinarian to be in there. I joined it, and there's like thousands of members. And the first thing I asked was about pain relief in arthritic dogs and horses and this sort of thing. What I got back quite a bit was the use of cannabis for pets. It works.
Yeah. It used to be that we had to be on the lookout for overdose because they got a hold of some of it, and the dog would chew it and stuff. Yep. But now it is being incorporated and becomes a money-making proposition for us.
My first clinic that I worked in, we had a cat, and about once a month it would come in completely out of it. We did every test in the book. We never did find anything wrong with it. It would be fine the next day. Finally, the couple that owned it had gone on holidays, and their late teenager son and his buddy brought it in. And I suggested that it might be getting awfully expensive and perhaps they should hide the stash. He agreed. He never saw the cat again.
Okay.
If you're into comedy, stand-up comedy, Robin Williams did a thing live at the Met, and he talks about how you should not get your animals stoned because they barely lick their own genitals. Why would you get your animals stoned?
Very good.
Good. Okay, we're coming to the end. I'm going to stop the recording soon, but you guys can stay or do some more chatting and stuff like that. It's been great fellowship assembly as usual. Great crowd, and I'd like to thank Bryce and everybody else for being here and participating. It's been a blast as usual, and it will be posted on our YouTube channel for those that want to check it later.
And I can catch up on the first half I missed.
There you go.
Good night, everyone.